Hi, this is Jack Casel, Anthony Cole Training Group, bringing you our next sales brew, and the topic is objections. Now, there's really two areas where the majority of us get our objections from. Number one is when we're trying to get somebody's time. We get when we're prospecting, we're trying to get on somebody's calendar, have them give us a couple minutes of their time. The other area is when we make our presentation and we're asking them to make a decision. Now, please know this about objections. Everybody hopes there's a catchphrase or a silver bullet or something they can say that's going to overcome every objection possible. And it's just not out there. What it comes down to is a couple things. Number one, knowing this. Objections are emotionally based. So when we get wrapped up emotionally, rational thought tends to leave the argument. And so when somebody is giving us an objection, are we trying to overcome it or are we trying to deal with it? If you try to overcome an objection, it's simply not going to work. How many times have you tried to convince a loved one, a friend, a colleague that they're looking at something wrong? It probably doesn't go very well. And so when we're trying to get somebody's time, number one, do we sound like somebody worth listening to? Are we making our phone calls for prospecting, and are we talking about us and our products and our services? Guess what? They don't care. They're not interested. What they are interested in finding out, can you help me? I'm trying to run my business, grow my business, get more market share, and the way you conduct yourself on the phone will determine if you're going to get more of that person's time. So my question is this, when's the last time you looked at your approach? Do you sound like somebody worth listening to? And on the second end, the back end of the other objection is we get where people are telling us maybe our price is too high. They can get this cheaper somewhere else, or maybe their incumbent supplier is able to do the same exact things you do. And so please know this, when you get an objection, it doesn't mean they're not going to buy. Prospects are very good at singing a couple of tunes because they know they can make the salesperson dance. Just because they say the price is too high doesn't mean they won't buy it. They're trying to see, are you willing to do something different? Are you willing to make an adjustment to the price? And so when we are teaching people to deal with objections, we follow the PAC method. P stands for pause. Whenever you get pushback, whenever you get an objection, because again, objections are emotionally based, pause. That allows you a couple seconds to calm down and regather your thoughts. And if you pause long enough, that person may keep talking. And the more they talk, the better off we are. The A in the PAC stands for acknowledge. Thanks for bringing that up. I never thought about it that way. That's an interesting perspective, because people get most upset when they think they're not being heard. So the first thing we want to do is pause. The next thing we want to do is acknowledge. Thank you for bringing that up. And then the third thing is the C is get curious. Hey, you told me that for a reason. Hey, what were you really trying to accomplish? You said our price is too high, but you didn't mention the value. How would you compare our value? And so whatever we do, we have to make sure we stay out of sales mode. This is where most people want to go when they feel or hear that objection. If it's on the phone to get an appointment, just give me 2 minutes. It'll just take 30 seconds. Wrong. Simply say, you know what, it doesn't surprise me. Let's look at our calendars today and look at something the next couple of weeks to see when you might be open. If they're on the buying side, if we try to push back and tell them how much better we are, we go into sales pitch mode. Again, that person will dig their heels into the ground. So please know this. Remember, just because they object doesn't mean they're not interested. Maybe it's not the right time. Just because they object doesn't mean they won't buy. They're trying to see if maybe you will cut their price a little bit more. And so when you pause, acknowledge, get curious, you're going to have a better chance of being successful. I hope this video has helped. Thank you.